Good evening, Isquel. My name is Jane Vinet, and I am here this evening with Shaw TV as a volunteer host. And today we are going to be up front and learning all about the Nanaimo Community Hospice, which is in the unceded traditional territories of the Nanaimo First Nations. My guests this evening are Paige Karczynski, the Executive Director for the Nanaimo Community Hospice, and Kerriann Coady, the Marketing Specialist for the Hospice Dream Home Lottery. And I may have your title wrong, Kerriann, and I'll correct that when I get there. So I'm so happy to have you both joining me this evening. I'd like to begin this evening by talking about and sharing with folks the vision of Nanaimo Community Hospice. So if you don't mind, Paige, if you'd like to kick us off and get started, it'd be great to learn more about your services.
Perfect. Thanks, Jane. So Nanaimo Community Hospice is a pillar in our community. We've been around 41 years, and we are here to educate, advocate, and care for those at end of life, those who are grieving, and those who are, a loved one or a friend or a caretaker that are, is in anticipatory grief. So we are a safe space for all those who are facing grief or about to.
You have a beautiful facility here in Nanaimo. There are a lot of incredible services and programs that happen there. And I know that they go through all levels. As you said, there's services for caregivers, services for those who are grieving, and services for those who are dying. And this is such a difficult topic, but what Nanaimo Hospice does is it brings so much kindness, caring, and compassion, or loving, caring, and coping, I believe are your values with the hospice. And the programs that you run are so numerous, and it's so incredible, the diversity of the work. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your favorite programs? I know they're probably all your favorite, but maybe ones that you would really like our viewers to learn more about.
I was going to say, I can't just pick one. The beauty is, though, we are able to respond to those needs of our community. So we can create programs through, we have professional staff on board, and we have over 250 volunteers who come from backgrounds of registered nurses, clinical counselors, just even those movers and shakers within the community. I would say some of my personal favorite programs, and I feel like I'm picking a favorite child, would be our traumatic loss program, which is very unique, one of its kind, throughout the island, basically. We offer, it's a 6-week program, volunteer facilitated, and it is a very structured program for those who are facing from suicide or homicide or, any of those traumatic losses, that it's not just the expected, you kind of had your time to say goodbye and, be with your loved ones. It really offers our clients an opportunity to talk about the traumatic loss with like-minded, or I guess like experienced people that are having the same experience. And it's a very safe space, very structured and guided. That one is my favorite, I think, because that is something that is super unique, super responsive to what we're experiencing more in our community with the uprise in opiate crisis, drug overdose or misuse, homelessness, and just the challenges our community and society face right now. Another one of ours that is super unique to Nanaimo Hospice is our Child and Youth program. We are very, very lucky and very blessed to have 2 excellent professional counselors on staff who see, we've seen children as young as 3. And we see families, we do it together, the sessions separate. We are, there's the availability to have play therapy. They can come in and they can do what speaks best or most to them, whether it's music or art or anything like that. And within that program, we have our outreach vehicle, which is this beautiful RV that we have retrofitted to be a mobile counseling room that is geared for children and youth. We have, stuffed toys and music and instruments on board. And our counselors with volunteers go to the schools within the community. We have a number of agreements with a number of different schools within the school district 68 that we can go to any schools, because it's easier for them to be seen at school than it is after hours, or, whatever their lifestyles are. And it's just another safe space to have Nanaimo Hospice on wheels, basically.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a really unique program. I wasn't aware. I think I missed the brochure on that one. There were a couple of other things when I visited your office last week. The lovely lady at the front, Sharon? Maybe
Yeah.
I have. Yes.
No, on Friday, so Tuesday.
Okay. She took me in and showed me through the space. And one of the things that I really loved was this room that has the capacity to change to fit your needs. So she was telling me that you offer all kinds of different programs and services there, and that just the setting, this feeling of calmness that comes over you as soon as you're in the space. I mean, the hospice space really is tranquil. It made me feel at peace almost immediately. And she told me that you have a program that you completely change the space, and you are, what is it? You'll have to tell me what it is. It happens on Wednesdays.
It's our self-care clinic. So right. It's actually a program. So that space you were in is our training room. We have 2 rooms actually that completely transform into a very calm, cozy atmosphere. And I think we have about 18 Reiki practitioners within self-care clinic. Yeah. So they do a 30-minute Reiki session with clients, and it's all about that healing energy and kind of working through that grief energy, and having, we've had clients come in and have a very emotional experience through the Reiki, and clients keep coming back for it. So it definitely is it's a very high in demand program of ours.
Obviously, the other space that made such a huge impact on me was the children's art space. I mean, it's almost unfathomable for those who don't work in this field to anticipate or understand that how the grieving process would be so different for children. And especially when you say young as 3, it's something I can't contemplate. And but understanding that these services that have been so beautifully thought out and planned and are well used. Also wanted to acknowledge the beautiful garden space out back that is managed by your volunteers, and really, it sounds to me like the lifeblood of this organization are your volunteers. You said 250 volunteers?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they are our true heart of hospice. Not only are they rolling their sleeves up like Mona and her team in the garden, or, coming in on a Wednesday or a Thursday to do a self-care clinic appointment, or even volunteers in our thrift shop. We wouldn't be here without them. They definitely are our heart of hospice. They bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we definitely use those opportunities to connect with them when growing or expanding any of our programs, because it's really interesting actually, because I had an idea of volunteering for not-for-profit organizations, but when we look at the cycle of hospice, most of our volunteers are previous clients.
Yes, I totally understand that. In previous roles in community, I've also had the opportunity to partner with community hospice on some of the programs that they bring into the community that help people with planning, with people becoming aware. I mean, there were just, as I said, I was so surprised by the number of services and programs and types of programs that you offer. Maybe you would like to elaborate a little bit more on some of those ones that you run in community.
It's funny you bring that one up. That's advanced care planning, and that one might be my personal favorite because it speaks to my experience and my background. It's definitely very structured. It's helping folks understand, like, when there's a death or you experience a death, I mean, not only are you overwhelmed with grief, but there's a lot of things you need to get in place, things you don't even think about, or, for those that are at end of life. So advanced care planning is definitely a great community program. It helps you kind of walk through the steps and the forms and what you need to be doing without that legal jargon touch to it. So we can understand what we need to do. And it's, I went through the actual training for that because I would love to facilitate that. Like I said, it kind of speaks to my background. And there were things that I didn't even know. And, it just kind of gives the opportunity for those that their plate is so full, they can't even focus. There is that, grief fog that they're working through. If we can help you work through the scary stuff, those, legal documents, forms, documents within the hospital and, the end of life plan, then we're here to do it for you. So that definitely, we open that to the community. You don't have to be a client. You don't even have to, kind of be at an end of life or, anticipating a loss. It's just a really great, knowledge to share and have. So
having taken part in those programs, I can totally vouch for. As I think I had mentioned earlier that most people don't learn about hospice until you're in crisis, you're in need, right? And this is a really great way for people to do some of that early planning. And because in Western cultures we tend to be death adverse, we don't want to talk about these things. And but what I learned through doing the advanced care planning program, I did it with my father, and was just how much pressure we can take off of ourselves so that we can be present for the really important things when those things are happening. And I think that's such the beauty of the services. I also had I had a friend pass a few years ago, and I was able to experience firsthand the services offered by hospice at NRGH, Nanaimo Regional General Hospital in the palliative, she was in palliative care. And again, I was blown away by the compassion and the understanding of these volunteers who were there helping people and family members at this crucial time of their life. And I remember walking away going, I want to do that. And thinking, how do you train these people? Like, how do you get the training? You have to go to school for this? It was incredible what these people could do.
We are very, I don't know, Kerriann and I have been out in a lot of public events and settings as of late, and it's just something I catch myself saying over and over again, and it doesn't lose anything behind it, is we have such special people with us, and it's special work, and it takes a certain kind of person to really have that care and compassion. I mean, when you're interested in becoming a volunteer for Nanaimo Hospice, you do take a core training. So it's a 40-hour training program, and it really just focuses on that deep listening and how to be there and just, be present with your client or your group. And it's just, the palliative care unit is another very, very, it's a special place for us, for our volunteers to work with their clients and their families and just be there and be present and just, talk about the good times, talk about the grief, talk about whatever you need to be talking about at that time. So our volunteers are very, very, very special people.
Now, actually, this is a great segue into what are your upcoming visions and plans for Nanaimo Community Hospice?
So we are experiencing, we've always been in demand, but as of late, we're experiencing such high demand for our services and programs. I as our demographics in the community change and people become more aware of what hospice is, it's not just, there's lots of people that kind of say, oh, it's, that's where I lost my grandfather and my grandmother. And now we're experiencing, fathers that are 35 years old and you have left a wife and 3 kids behind and things like that. So we're experiencing a huge change in demographics, a huge demand in our programs and services. So we need to expand our programs, expand our services, and we would obviously like to become a residential hospice facility so we do have those beds and can provide that compassionate care. It's a very exciting time for us. We are only partially funded. Nanaimo Hospice receives about 25% funding from the provincial government. The rest of it is up to us to seek donations, sponsorship, and just rely on our community with their support. So we've got some really exciting fundraising initiatives coming up, and I guess that's what we're going to talk about now.
I think we will. So I would love to get Kerriann in on this. This is such exciting things that are happening in this community, not only for hospice, but for all of us to have an incredible opportunity. So Kerriann, I'm sure I didn't get your title right at the beginning. Could you please tell our viewers your title?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I'm Kerriann Coady. So in my day job, I'm the CEO for the Canadian Home Builders Association for Vancouver Island. And in January of 2020, Hospice reached out and we were trying to look at how we could build a dream home lottery in Nanaimo together. So that is where my title with Hospice came in. So I'm the project manager for the Dream Home Lottery project.
Okay, so a Dream Home Lottery project. How I'm just going to let you go because I don't even know where you would start with trying to do something like this. It sounds like such an incredible undertaking. So where did the idea start, and what did you start to make this happen?
Sure. So what Paige was alluding to just a moment ago about wanting to be a residential facility. So at the time that I went into the first meeting with hospice, I was told that the palliative care unit is at a 200% capacity. And so hospice needing to fulfill these future aspirations of building a standalone residential bed facility, they're going to need a major fundraiser to get there. So that kind of came to be was the Dream Home Lottery project. So our first step was to find land. So we reached out to the foothills in Lanceville because when you're building a dream home, they have the views. So that's where we started the project. And they were very kind to gift us some beautiful land with ocean view and mountain view. And then our next step was putting out an RFP for builders in our local community. And we were blown away by the applications that we received and ultimately selected Momentum Design Build. They're a Hazelwood Group company. And so then they were awarded the RFP in October of 2020. And from there, we started kind of the process of bringing in other community partners. So the Hazelwood Group, I like to think of them as a giant family, it would seem, because all of them have come to the table. We've got a dunk pool that's been provided by them. We have the site service work that was done, which that was just one sentence, but it was an incredible amount of work that needed to be done to get that site ready for this beautiful home that I don't know, you can't see much of it behind me, but the picture's available online so everyone can check that out. And Windsor Foundation, they gave us a beautiful cash donation that's enabling us to kind of build and continue to build during COVID, because as anybody who has taken on any renovation projects in the last 2 years knows that the cost of building has gone up substantially. So that's where our community has really come to the table so that we can ensure that hospice makes the most money possible off this initiative so that they can expand their programs and services and get to that residential facility eventually. So we're really counting on our community for all of the sponsorships and partnerships. Central Windows is another one that is very exciting that they were able to support us while we're building this beautiful home. So yeah, that's kind of how it started.
I will let you go ahead and tell us a little more about the house, if you will.
Sure. Great. It's exciting for me, so I just ramble on. So it's a 3,000 square foot home. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. The dunk pool that I was alluding to earlier, it's on the view side, so you can sit in the pool and look out over the ocean, and it's spectacular. We're a little bit excited. Yeah, and so our tickets are on sale now, so people can get them and support hospice. One of the things that Paige has referenced a few times while we're out, when we're talking to the different community members, is that all of the proceeds from this are going to the Nanaimo Hospice, which is so incredible. When I first took the meeting, I think within 10 minutes, I had tears in my eyes of just listening to the services that they provide. And I mean, I would say the general public has a general understanding of what hospice does. I don't think it's a tip of the iceberg. The amount of people that have shared stories with us while we're out in the community selling tickets, it's beautiful. The things that they've experienced, the things that that they've referenced that have helped them through. It's been such an incredible experience for me on this side, because the build side was my baby. That's where I was really excited to partner on and to talk to the tradespeople and know that we have such a strong industry that knows that community is more than bricks and mortar. It really comes down to the people that are in it and giving back. And so I was excited about that, but I didn't account for the beautiful stories that I would hear from the public about their experience with hospice. And that has been one of the most rewarding parts of my career, I think, thus far, is just being part of this. It's been amazing.
You know, what I'm hearing from both you, Paige and Kerriann, is that this program and this lottery and hospice, everything it's giving and giving and giving. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all I'm hearing. I mean, Nanaimo Hospice does not charge community members for these services, so you give to our community. And then, Kerriann, this lottery, this dream home build, I mean, in addition to the fact that it's going to give a new facility to hospice to grow and expand the work, but you and I also had an offline discussion about how this program also gives to our community, because it's a teaching tool, and it's around building these collaborations. And I'd really love for you to share with our viewers just how this hospice program is giving and giving and giving.
For sure. So one of the really interesting partnerships that we've been able to make through this project, we reached out to Vancouver Island University, and we asked them if they would be interested in partnering on it. So they are going to be learning about new building technology while the home's being created. They're going to volunteer some time on the project. The carpentry program will be spending some time on the project as well. One of our partners who donated the entire insulated concrete form foundation will also be spending a day at VIU going through ICF foundations with the students, and then we're going to bring the students out to the site as well to go through and to see it kind of in action. So it's been such a beautiful project that, you know, we're able to bring students on, they're learning from it. We're also connecting with so many different suppliers and partners that are so excited to give back and really make this project a success.
Wow. Now, how many tickets are up for grabs?
So we have 25,000 total. So your odds are 1 in 25,000 to win the home. We still have quite a few tickets available. They can be purchased online, or if people need us to come to them at this point, there is no ask too big or small. We will make it happen to find you and get your tickets to you.
Okay. And all of your website and all that information is appearing on the screen, so our viewers will be able to do it. But when is the deadline?
So we can't sell more than 25,000 tickets. So as soon as they're gone, but we have until April 7th at midnight, well, I guess 11:59 p.m. on April 7th to sell them all. And then the draw date will be April 8th for both the 50/50 and the Dream Home Lottery.
Okay, we're going to be wrapping up here, Paige. I'm going to give you the last word. If what would you say is the thing you most want our viewers to get from this experience, besides one lucky person getting a dream home?
All the pressure's on. No, I appreciate our community. I appreciate this platform here with you tonight, Jane, and you, Kerriann, just to share about this project. I think we just need to keep, being relevant in our community and keep the exposure there. And our doors are always open for those in need. And honestly, I have always donated. I'm a regular donor, but I've never worked in the not-for-profit. That's not my background. I've been only with hospice for just 2 years now. And being on the back end of things to see how far a dollar really goes is just incredible. If you only have $5 to donate, that's wonderful, because that, like you said, none of our clients, no one has to pay for any of our services. We have professional staff on. We have our volunteers who are trained. So it really, really does make a difference. And this whole project, Dream Home, our byline is a ticket that truly makes a difference, because it really will. So I appreciate the support.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both being so upfront about the Hospice Dream Home Lottery and about the incredible services. I want to say thank you, Heichka, for everything that you do in our community. And my fingers are crossed that this project is going to be, all the tickets are going to sell out. And I can't wait to see who the lucky winner is. So time for me to go get my tickets. All right. Thank you very much.